How to know if you'll ever get married. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe and ring the bell for more videos. Will I ever get married is a question that people often ponder. Asking this question might be a sign that you are interested in making a long-term commitment to another person. Marriage is a big step in anyone's life, and it can be scary to think about making that commitment. However, marriage can also be a very rewarding experience. There is no definitive answer to the question of whether or not you will get married because it is entirely up to you. Some people know from a young age that they want to get married, while others rarely think about it. Whether or not you get married depends on a lot of different factors, including your personal preferences, your relationship status, and how much effort you are willing to devote to dating and looking for a potential partner. This article discusses some of the signs that you suggest you might get married, and some of the reasons why you might want to consider taking this step. If you are interested in getting married, this article also covers some things you can do to increase your chances of finding someone special. Will I ever get married? Even if you aren't quite ready to say I do to anyone, there are some signs that can indicate that marriage might be part of your future. Signs that you are thinking about marriage, or may be ready to take that step in the future. You already have a partner and feel like you are ready to make a commitment. You want children and want a committed partner to raise them with. You are happy in your relationship and you want to make it official. You spend time daydreaming about being married. You are taking steps now to prepare for a future marriage, such as saving money, eliminating debts, or purchasing a house. You evaluate potential love interests based on whether they might be marriage material. If any of these things ring true for you, then it might be time to start thinking about marriage. Of course, there is no guarantee that getting married will make you happier, but it may have benefits that you might want to consider. If you are not quite ready for marriage, don't worry, there's no rush. The important thing is that you are happy, whether you are already in a relationship, actively looking, or enjoying being single. Marriage isn't for everyone, and there's no shame in deciding that it's not right for you. Be sure to keep an open mind, just in case the idea of marriage starts to appeal to you down the road. According to U.S. Census Bureau statistics, a record number of U.S. adults are currently single. Nearly 50% of American adults, 126.9 million people, are either never married, widowed, or divorced. 1. How likely are you to get married? Is there any way to know how likely you are to get married in the future? There is no one answer to this question. It all depends on your personal circumstances. However, here are some things to consider. Your age might play a role in how soon you'll get married. The average age for a first marriage in the United States is 27 for women and 29 for men. 1. Another factor that may influence a person's intentions to marry, as well as whether or not they eventually do marry, includes a person's attitudes about marriage. How much control people think they have over the decision to marry can also factor into whether they commit to a marriage. There is no guarantee that you will get married, but assessing your own feelings about what marriage might bring to your life is a good place to start. Some evidence suggests that doing so may have a positive impact on your overall quality of life. 2. If you're on the fence about marriage, it might be worth considering the effect that it might have. Recap. Factors that might influence how likely you are to get married include your age, relationship history, and attitudes toward marriage play important roles in whether a person eventually marries. Reasons you might consider getting married. There are some benefits to committing yourself to marriage. Companionship and support are important for mental well-being, so partnering with another person can be a great way to develop a lasting, dependable connection. Some other reasons why marriage might be an option to consider. You want to share your life with someone. You are looking for financial stability. You want to have children and want a partner to help you raise them. You want the legal benefits of marriage, such as hospital visitation rights, inheritance, and tax breaks. Married people are more likely to be happy and satisfied with their lives than those who are single. 2. People who are married are also more likely to have better mental and physical health. Of course, there are also some drawbacks to getting married. Marriage can be hard work, and it's not always easy to make a relationship last. If you are considering marriage, be sure that you are ready for the challenge. Think about the pros and cons, and how these different scenarios may impact your life. Tips for finding the right partner. If you think that marriage might be in your future, it can be helpful to explore strategies that will improve your chances of marrying. There are some things you can do to increase your chances of finding someone special. Here are a few tips. Make sure you are ready to get married. Don't get married just because you feel like you should. Marriage is a big commitment, so be sure that you are ready for the challenge. Don't feel pressured to jump into a commitment just because it seems to be what all of your friends are doing. Get out there and date. If you've decided that marriage is something that you want, it is important to put yourself out there and actively look for a partner. If meeting in face-to-face settings is challenging for you, consider trying a dating app to help with your search. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not in order to impress potential partners. Being authentic is more likely to lead to meeting a person who is right for you. Be open-minded. Just because marriage isn't right for you now doesn't mean it won't be later on down the road. Keep your options open, and don't rule anything out. These are just a few tips to get you started. If you want to find the right partner for marriage, it's important to be proactive. The more effort you put in, the better your chances of finding what you're looking for. Marriage is a big decision, but with the right partner, it can be a rewarding experience that brings companionship and love into your life. A word from Very Well. Whether you are actively looking for a lifetime partner or thinking about a more distant future, it is normal to wonder whether you'll ever find someone you want to commit to for the long term. There are a wide variety of factors that can influence whether you'll marry, including your age, attitudes, and relationship history. If marriage is something that you want, then there is a strong chance that you can make that happen. It is important to remember that finding a partner isn't a passive process. A coincidental meet-cute might be the stuff that romantic comedies are made of, but real-world romance often takes work and purposeful effort. What to do if your partner doesn't want to get married? When it comes to relationships, not everyone is the same. Some people want to take things slow and see where they go, while others jump into a relationship with marriage on their minds. When you are ready to settle down, it is important to have an open and honest conversation with your partner with caring, curiosity, calmness, and respect. It's natural to feel an intense desire for commitment in your relationship, especially if it involves starting a family path together. However, before taking this step forward towards marriage, take some time to reflect upon what both of you expect out of your partnership. What are you looking for? Although it might feel like you inherently know that you want to be married, it's important to take a step back and ask yourself what exactly you are looking for. Are you hoping for more security, recognition, acknowledgement of your relationship's importance, or simply the ability to call your partner my husband or my wife? Additional questions to consider: what does marriage mean to you? Where did you learn this, and is it a belief that is yours or your family's or societal or religious teachings? What will marriage give to you that you don't already have, and are these things only possible with marriage? If you're already in a committed relationship and marriage is simply a formality, then your answer could be that you want more security, or the traditions that marriage brings, like a wedding, anniversaries, etc. Other benefits that marriage brings include legal and government benefits, rights, and responsibilities. A change in tax status. A sense of relationship permanence. Enhanced feelings of meaning and purpose, improved sense of self, and a heightened sense of mastery for SOME2. However, it's also important to ask yourself what you are looking for if you are in a less stable relationship. Are you trying to fix the relationship through marriage? Are you trying to please someone else? Do you want to have children and feel that you have to be married to do so? If you aren't sure exactly what you want, pull out a journal and start writing down your feelings. You might be surprised to learn more about what it is that you want out of marriage. At the very least, this exercise will allow you to communicate your wants more clearly when it comes time to talk to your spouse. Why vulnerability in relationships is so important. Balance your needs. Neither partner should feel obligated to give up their needs to be in the relationship. Figure out what compromises you're willing to make on certain issues. For example, if marriage isn't something that's a high priority for your partner, but they are still committed to you, they might be willing to compromise and move forward with the marriage. On the other hand, if they are steadfastly opposed to marriage, you may need to consider that the relationship isn't going to work out. The best part about balancing your needs is the chance to have real conversations about what you each want out of the relationship. Whether or not you resolve the issue of marriage, it should become clear how well suited you are to one another and whether your values and goals align. If you see yourself heading in different directions at this step, that could be a sign that marriage is not in your future regardless of whether you can agree on what to do. Discussing feelings is the only way to develop a strong connection. Process your feelings. Use this time to process your feelings, rather than try to change or influence your partner. Reflect on what you want in a partner, and whether your current partner is the right person for you. Your relationship may not be as strong as it seemed when it began simply because you want different things out of life. While love and attraction are key ingredients for a good relationship, compatibility and long-term goals is what makes for a long-term relationship that works. How compatible are you with your partner based on the zodiac? Hear their perspective. A marriage is made up of two individuals with different perspectives. If you don't have a conversation about those unique views, they could get in the way when it's time to decide about the big stuff in life. It may seem like trying to get an answer from someone who isn't ready will only frustrate you both. However, patience could help improve communication to gain more insight into why your partner feels hesitant. If you can, set your defensiveness aside and listen with an open mind, empathetically without judgment, then your partner will feel like they have space to explore their deepest thoughts safely with you. Have respect for your partner's freedom of choice and individualism. You may disagree or wish your partner felt differently, but trust that they know what's best for them. If you know that your partner isn't interested in saying, "I do," the last thing you want to do is make them feel like they have to come along for the ride. Practicing active listening in your daily conversations. Understand their fear. Tina B. Tessina, psychotherapist and co-author of How to Be Happy Partners, Working It Out Together, advises that fear is often underlying these types of conflicts. She argues that understanding where your partner is coming from is key. If you decide to commit yourself to one person for life, then that means taking on all risks, including not getting what you want or need at any given time. Commitment helps bridge gaps between differences. It provides safety nets against loneliness and can help grow connections as partners work together towards common goals. Some people are so afraid of getting hurt again that they put up a barrier to commitment in their lives. They're terrified and reject the idea because it's too hard for them right now, or perhaps ever. Meanwhile, others may find themselves tempted, but also fearful about committing. This might be due to past experiences that made them wary of trusting other people with all aspects of who they are. How fear of intimacy can cause you to avoid or sabotage relationships. Consider couples counseling. If your partner is not interested in marrying, you don't have to break up right away. There are some things you can both do to work towards a more harmonious relationship. Waiting around forever isn't advisable. Rather, talking with someone who has experience on the topic may help bridge the gap. Attending couples counseling could be an option in this situation to help get you both on a better path, either toward a breakup or toward a marriage. If your partner will not attend counseling with you, consider going to individual therapy to talk about your feelings in a safe space. This could be particularly helpful if you have issues you don't feel comfortable discussing in front of your partner. For example, you may be concerned about timelines for starting a family. Through individual therapy, you can work through these issues and find the best solutions for your long-term happiness. Steps you can take. Get curious. Think about what marriage means to yourself and your partner, and why it means, what it does to each of you. Get creative. Come up with creative and collaborative ideas and possibilities where each of your needs can be met, and where both of your paces can be heard and honored, if there is a desire to continue committing together without a hard ultimatum either way. Learn about yourself. Explore your own needs and goals in therapy to learn more about why you might have an urgency to get married, or why you might not be ready yet. Work together. Working collaboratively, compassionately, and creatively as a couple can help you find common ground for continued growth and connection. Marriage may happen eventually, but when you are both truly ready. Here's how to find the right therapist for you. Know when to leave. At some point, you may need to decide on leaving the relationship if you can't reach a compromise on marriage. You will probably experience a range of emotions, from sadness at the loss to anger at the time wasted. It may not be easy for your partner to be open and honest about the reasons behind their hesitation, but if you can't learn more, then there is likely no chance of moving forward. Try asking them what they are feeling, or talk out different scenarios together to have a better understanding. However, it's important not to dwell on what could have been. The best time to leave is when you've exhausted all options at making things work. At that point, you can feel confident that you gave everything you had. And when you've done your very best, there is no longer any reason to feel sad about the situation. If you can, try to focus on the better future that is waiting for you. Is it time for you and your partner to end the relationship? A word from Very Well. Whether your relationship continues and leads to marriage is often the result of a complex interplay of the needs and wants of you and your partner. While it's always possible to reach a compromise, if there is a huge gap between what each of you wants, this is usually a sign that even compromises could lead to conflict down the road. For someone who struggles with codependency and has difficulty connecting with what they need and want, chameleoning to match or please others, and seeking the opinions of outsiders for your personal life can be more harmful than helpful. Instead of getting advice from others, seek support in having others witness, listen to, and hear your experience and perspective. They can then ask thoughtful, insightful, and curious questions, and support you in getting clarity about what you want, without intruding with their ideas, preferences, and perspectives.